now we are back on the previous screenshot project. Yes. And I have done some progress. If you do remember, there was another video, the first video, where we started from zero, from scratch, where we had absolutely nothing. The project was empty, and so we let Copilot creating everything for us. So I just opened Visual Studio Code with nothing, just a prompt, and it generated all of the files for me with the agent mode. So agent mode, and the model I have used was Claude Sonnet 4. And now where we are at is here. So we have done quite some nice progress so far, and so we continued quite a lot there. There were some issues where indeed the text couldn't be displayed on the canvas, because this is like a previous screenshot. So you upload a screenshot, you make beautiful previous screenshots for the Apple Store listening. So my very first prompt was this one: build an Electron previous screenshot maker. Apple screenshots. I was quite specific on the size of the screenshots, but that's all. I was very vague on everything else. And normally, you should really be like with the hat of a product owner, of a PO or a PM or product manager, and you should be specific, even with the technology you would use. Normally, a PM would let the software engineer do, choosing what's the best stack, what's the best technology, and what's the best architecture to use. But here, you are the product owner, but you should also know that Copilot needs also some instructions about the stack. Unless you know nothing about programming and anything like that, like a PO would do, then you can let Copilot choosing for you. That's fine. But in my case, I'm a software engineer, and so I like to decide and to be more specific on the kind of environment, stack, technology, architecture, and how I want my files to be. And like I didn't mention that I wanted TypeScript. I love TypeScript, and I believe it's also much easier to debug and to avoid unnecessary errors, basically. And it's JavaScript for now, but that's okay. It's not the end of the world. I can always convert after to TypeScript. Nowadays with AI, again, it's so super simple to migrate even a huge project to TypeScript. Like, again, I remember in one of my previous companies, we were a team of 4 and then 3 full-time engineers, mid to senior software engineers, and we were working for weeks, if not even months. Actually, we did a lot of sprints. So it was like 2 weeks sprints, working on migrating. And actually, we didn't have sprints at the end because it was pointless. When we do tech debt, we don't need sprints. So sprints is like part of the agile methodology. Actually, sprint is more like Kanban and not really Scrum. I mean, yeah, it's a bit of both actually, because you can do sprint on Kanban and Scrum as well. But anyways, that's not part of the topic. But we stopped actually sprints after, and we were just working full time, week after week, migrating the code base. And because there was no AI at that time, of course, and so there was a lot of complexities, and we had to test everything, a lot of unit tests, and we had to migrate the libraries as well that were not compatible, and there were a lot of tech debt. So of course it was taking a lot of time. But now it's funny that we can make everything so much simpler and faster, and even more reliable. Also, we can ask, because it doesn't do by default, sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't, but we can ask for Copilot, or if you are using Cursor or Windsurf. I mean, Windsurf got acquired by OpenAI, so I'm not sure if it will still be named Windsurf for long, but we can use any other AI-driven code editor to ask to write unit tests for us. And that's also a good practice to ensure that our changes don't break our current current application, our current version. If new changes happen, even though you can rely on AI, well, unit test, and it's always the best, and you can also automate that. I mean, you can automate this by also asking always to have AI to run the unit test every time, and you can have a pipeline for that to have all of your unit tests to be run for you. And yeah, so what I'm going to do here, so let's go back to our project. So here it wanted Electron to restart. So that's just a command where we just kill the processor for Electron and the F flag to force. So it will restart with the new changes. I'm happy with that. So let's do that, and let's have our previous screenshots up to restart, and after we can check the changes. That's the previous screenshots maker. If you didn't see the first video, again, I highly recommend you to have a look on my channel and to watch the first video. The title is something like start from zero, from scratch with Copilot VS Code. Title like that is maybe not very explicit title, but I'm sure you will find it. And so that's the Electron app we are building. This is a bit like a onboarding actually, where we can do next, and we can, you see, it shows explicitly that's the first screen, and so we would continue next. It's not perfect because it's a bit buggy actually for now. Again, it shouldn't be buggy. Not too sure why it is, but it is what it is, just for now. And that was a previous version. I have multiple instances, so I will close everything and I will go back here, because I think Copilot has troubles to restart. So what I'm going to do is to stop here. I'm going to click here, cancel, and then I will cancel, and then here I will refresh by clicking that. Awesome. And let's see now how it works. I will continue fixing the font issues. Yeah, please. Yes. And let's see what we get now. Hopefully a better and more stable version. This is absolutely what we want. Alright, I see the hero. Oh, I didn't know there was a hero template. That's very surprising. This is the kind of surprise you would get by coding with Copilot. Like, you don't control everything, and you have to be fine with that you cannot control everything. You have to always review all changes. You have to be aware that you cannot trust Copilot, but as well you have to know that Copilot, AI, and any other AI-driven code editors, as well as the models such as Claude, OpenAI, GPT, yes, Gemini as well, they are super powerful and are super smart. But now you are the pilot, and Copilot is a Copilot. So you have to know exactly what you need to be done, and the better your idea will be, okay, I know exactly what needs to be built, the better it will be. So I mean, the more specific basically you are, the better it is, of course. So alright, so it does a CD again in my project, and so it does a p-kill to kill the Electron. So now it should be okay. I think the issue before that, it was running and there was nothing working, and I had to cancel actually and to do it again. It's because I had multiple instances opened of Electron, and probably that's why. Maybe that's my assumption. So it's running now. You always have to be careful. Again, security is a big part with AI, because over the web, like over time around the web, a lot of measures to increase the security and the safety have been done, a lot of work, and now being on a website is super safe. But it's not the case with AI. So like this, everything to be done again with AI in terms of security, and that's a big issue. It's like the web back in 2000 basically. Back in 2000, the web was so unsafe, or 2005 and so on. It was so unsafe, and now it's super safe because we learned by SQL injections, with XSS vulnerabilities, with all kinds of vulnerabilities. But the same has to be done with AI and with injections that can happen. So again, like similarly to all vulnerabilities that could happen before, and now on the web it's almost impossible. I mean, SQL injections still happen, but back in 2006 that was super common, unfortunately, and the same with a lot of other kinds of vulnerabilities. Yeah, it was very scary. Like you had an image where there was a code to steal some cookies, and a lot of things got fixed now. And so same for passwords actually, but with AI there are new ways of intrusions, new ways we didn't think before. So of course, coding with AI usually the models know how to code like in a safe way, in a secure way, but there are vulnerabilities that can happen through like MCP, for instance. So here we are going to iterate and we are going to continue. Alright, so we have done progress, or at least I should say Copilot has done some progress for us. I'm still doing a continue here to install. So again there, it's just looking at, we're installing Electron, and so it needs to know the path. Okay, PWD is print working directory. It stands for that. So a ls Electron. Okay, so npm ls Electron, let me try different approaches. So what was the main issue here? Electron app is failing. So there's an import fix, the main.js. Okay, so it's because it's debugging now for us. Something was failing basically. And let's see what it will find for us. Alright, so we have a device mockup. Export utils. And then that's the index.html, right? And main.js. Yeah, that's our main file, of course. Testimonial and stats templates. Font family. Oh, oh yeah, interesting. So it doesn't have any fallbacks now. Before it had sans serif as a fallback. No, it doesn't. I wonder why it did this. We can ask that after, actually, because I mean sans serif should be always there anyway. If we just mention Arial, it will go to sans serif anyway by default, by itself. So maybe it was because it was redundant, actually. Yeah. So now it's opening into a simple web browser, basically. Like it says browser, but it's like a web browser, as you can see. I didn't know VS Code had a simple web browser. That's really interesting. I mean, it's just like a frame, basically. Yeah. But yeah, that's interesting. VS Code simple browser, built-in browser. Yeah, how to open a browser window. Really interesting. I love it because we can learn every day something quite new. Yeah, that's the one. Live preview. Oh, that's an extension. Yeah, my bad. Yeah, no, it's not the same then. Alright, so what it's asking now, open untrusted web page. So again, you have to, that's just a debug test. But again, we were speaking about security earlier. The debug test.html, we don't know what's inside, and AI could, we really have to trust AI, what it's writing inside. Here, at the moment, I'm quite confident. It will be, everything in there will be safe and harmless, but we should always be careful. Is it jQuery, this one? Oh no, Fabric.js. I didn't know that library actually. Fabric.js. Oh, okay. Fabric.js. I had no idea of that one. I'm just learning about it now. That's really it's not jQuery, but it's not jQuery, but it's something nice for design. So to add, yeah, it makes sense for the purpose of our app with Canva to SVG. So it's a really different kind of library. Fabric.js. I like it. I think it sounds very handy. Right. So npm install Fabric. Oh, we can use it. Oh yeah, nice. The ESC browser, yes. Perfect. Oh, nice. Yeah, good to know. That's yeah. And 2 days ago was the last commit, so it's well maintained. It's very good. So yeah, powerful JavaScript HTML5 Canvas library. And the documentation is, that's the old one, so I believe it's that one. Oh yeah, we go back to docs. Oh yeah, that's the old one, so that's a new one. But you see, when I click there, there's an issue with the UI, like we can barely see the text. Maybe I should mention that to them so they can fix on their website, but the font text should be probably white. It's active on the link, I mean once it's clicked there on the menu. Anyway, good finding. We know a new library, so that's amazing. I will continue. So here it's asking if we want to have Copilot to run in the background. So basically here it will run the main.js by using the bin, the binary Electron, which will run main.js. So I'm fine with that. And by the way, speaking about security, when we are on the browser as well, so we have to be careful with the with the CSRF vulnerabilities as well, because we are not logged in here, but we don't know what it may steal from there. If it's a weird AI model you wouldn't trust, of course, like Claude, Sonnet, or OpenAI GPT, you trust. But if one day you end up using a model you don't trust, it can do bad things on your computer. And that's also why I believe in the new era of having new kind of security engineers and new kind of security AI agents to improve the new upcoming vulnerabilities that will happen in the near future. So now we can continue. So again, see, speaking about CSRF vulnerabilities and things like this one, always need to be careful. I'm opening that simple browser now. Excellent. So I can see the functionality. So all of this is part of the debugging. And you see, after it will remove, or we can remove by ourselves if it doesn't, but we have a standalone test.html file, and we have the device mockup. I believe that's also, yeah. And there was another testing file, but it's already deleted, which is nice. So continue to iterate. I'm happy to continue iterating for now. Let's continue that. And oh, that's my other project. I try to be multitask, but I mean, multitasking is good sometimes, but context switching, like task switching, it will ruin our productivity. Even though now with AI we can maybe be more context switching, but I still believe that context switching is not something ideal for anyone. Our brain is not meant to do multiple things at the same time, simultaneously. No. So alright, so now we are here. Continue, yeah. Let me continue debugging the canvas, because there were a lot of issues with the canvas. If you watch the previous video, you would see. We can continue that. Here we are, excellent. Now I can test functionalities directly, perfect. Alright, so now it will do an npm start to run the, we will see a little window and a little app here, Electron app appearing, because it will open the Electron app. Before it was doing it by itself to know if the Canva was working, thanks to the simple browser, so it could detect that, but now it will open the Electron app, because Copilot cannot see what the Electron app does, because it's like a new instance, a new device, so it cannot see what's inside. It's like a black box. So that's why earlier for debugging it was using the simple browser in a way for testing, so it was like creating HTML files that are normally not needed, but just for the purpose of debugging with like the standalone -test.html, and now it will open the Electron app. Now let's start using a different method. Oh, something happened actually. It did try to open the Electron app, but what happened? I lost a bit of context here, so let's see. Okay, so now it's using npx Electron and period, I mean the full stop, that's to open this current project. Alright, so let's see where we are at. Alright, major issues fixed. That's nice. It created for me a Canvas debug summary of the issues that has been fixed. It's a bit like what an engineer would do and would send to the product owner or to the manager, to the first line manager, to say, look, this has been fixed, this and this. Well, AI is doing it for us. And imagine if you are working for a client, you are a freelancer, you are working for a client, you could do that too. So you could, in the way you communicate, you could after export that markdown as a PDF, and so you can send the PDF of what you have done, and you send that by email or by Messenger, WhatsApp, or the way you use to communicate, and it looks very professional. People like it because they can clearly see what you have done, and it helps. It helps to not, like for your client will not feel a bit isolated. It improves a lot, I would say, the communication, and as well as knowing exactly that you don't just spend paid hours doing nothing. And when you communicate in such a way where you break down everything you have done, even though they may not understand everything, it's the same when you go to a doctor and after you see the breakdown of all of the exams they have done on you, I mean, all of the, I don't know, like blood tests and x-rays and so on, you may not understand all of the words and the terminologies there, but at least you know that they have done their best. And it's the same here. You would send that, you can export the markdown into a PDF and then sending that to your client. It's really good. It's a really good practice to do. So now we can keep that and we can see ready for testing. The application should now work correctly. That's a good news. Test immediately. Open the standalone in your browser, but yeah, I want to run the Electron app in my case. So let's have a look. Let's run the Electron app and review all your changes, ensuring the canvas can work with the templates, the images, the font, text, and so on, and the other features that would be added on the colored background Canva. And once you are satisfied with the results, run the Electron app. I could also use the by speaking. That's also something you can do to be faster. In my case I don't, but it's something also a good practice to do. Yeah. Alright, run the Electron app for me, and then I will how do you decrease that? Okay, so now if I npm start, right, okay, this way, perfect. So let's see now what will happen. We are very close, actually. It's very exciting because we are, yeah, we can see the end. I mean, I believe soon we will have a MVP of our product, and that's really exciting. Again, an MVP is like minimum effort for a maximum impact. Like we want the maximum impact with our product, and the minimum effort. So it has to be the most valuable, like a minimum product, but super valuable product. So because usually when we think about MVP, people would create something minimum, not that valuable product, but then the goal of an MVP is to convince the purpose of the product. One feature, but that feature should be excellent. Okay, it's an MVP, but if it's so buggy, the MVP will not be very, like it's hard to be convinced by a really poorly, badly designed MVP. So the MVP still needs to be a high standard. And this is why we have now AI to help us to build amazing, high quality MVP and to understand exactly the needs of the clients. If you are working for a client whatsoever, like in my case, the preview screenshots, I do it for myself. And so I know exactly what I want, but for you, like, I think the most important thing is to understand exactly what a client wants, and you can do that by automating or by having a standard, like like what franchises would do, like with a franchise company. You'd have a process, so you would have like a form where the client has to fill each field, and so exactly nothing will be missed because you are making the process a standard. So standardization, yeah, that's the term, standardization. It helps to ensure everything is the same way, and for you have all of the details to build the perfect product the client really wants and really expects to have. Okay, so we can continue here to iterate. Yeah, so run, execute. So here it's the MCP. Yeah, doing the just checking everything. Hopefully we'll not have issues to open the Electron because it needs to know now the version of NPM. I know, again, when we are not really specific, like Copilot will always use JavaScript and NPM, it's the default ones. In my case, I kind of prefer TypeScript. I have used a lot Yarn because I have done a lot of React and React Native in the past. I like PNPM as well, PNPM, but if you don't file this to your Copilot, it will always be npm and JavaScript. What npm is, it's really awesome. Yarn is also amazing. Yarn 4, Yarn 4 now. Soon they will release Yarn 5, if it's not already the case. But yeah, so it's checking the Node version. Okay, that's fine. I mean, where the path of Node, which is like where it will get. So that's why it's asking you if you are okay to give that kind of information, because basically you are giving the full path where Node is installed on your computer, on your machine. Alright, so now it's installing again the dependencies with npm install. You have a shortcut actually with npm. You can do npm I. With Yarn, you don't have that. I always do Yarn I, but no, it's Yarn install and Yarn add to add a package. With npm is npm install or npm I for installing. Yeah, that's a shortcut. All right, so now here we are. So it does an alias ls, like a shortcut, an alias. So why? Yeah, ls. No, it's checking actually what's inside. I just got confused with ln. ln is for a shortcut, I mean an alias. ls is just to list what's inside of the folder. My bad. I should wear my glasses maybe. So here it does the binary electron. Alright, so now, yeah, perfect. Electron binary exists. Yeah, it does. It's just checking because I think there were some issues earlier. So we are getting there. So again, you see, you are the one who is supervising. You are the supervisor. You are the the main person controlling the situation. But you have to make sure that AI is not messing around and doing something you don't want. Alright, so now let me try. Sometimes it can be a bit slow, and indeed it can feel like, I understand if you feel a bit frustrated by all of this. That's the agent mode of Copilot. If you use the edit mode, it's a bit more straightforward, but the agent mode is nice for more like complex tasks. And this is a bit what we have here, because we are building a project from scratch. So it's a bit more complex. There are a lot of things to take into account. And our app is not something, I mean, the app I wanted to create, I had as an idea. It's not like the most popular kind of app. Like previous screenshots is not, you don't have thousands and thousands of apps like that. If you just wanted a to-do list or a reminder app, of course, that will be much easier for AI, for the AI model, because there are so many examples of to-do and reminder apps out there. It had a lot of context and a lot of details from hundreds of examples on the internet, but our app, previous screenshots, is a bit more specific. And the more specific you are, of course, AI will have to, like it will not be, like it might make more mistakes, let's say. Was it not alright? So let's see why it cannot open the Electron. That's using the trace warning. Enable login, okay. Let's run again. It's a bit like a loop, but we are continue iterating. Yes, I want to continue iterating this. That's fine. It's a bit per bit and less. So again, it sounds like it's always the same kind of comment, but that's a way how it debugs. Perfect. Oh, the depth. So just let me different approach debugging. npm install, yes, and there. Seems familiar. The issue, alright. Simple main test. Now let's create a simplified. Alright, it's now using again the simple browser to debug quicker this way. Good. Check.js, app.js, no problems there, no, nothing. So it's now creating a build.sh, build bash file. Interesting. And let me update the rest of the script. Okay, yes, please. So we can always click here and we can see the diff basically of what it did. It added. I really like this. With cursor it's a bit different. It's not done that way. We see the diff only at the end. I would say I do prefer the way Copilot behaves than Cursor. I have used a lot Cursor. You would see also a lot of videos of Cursor on my channel, but I do prefer the way Copilot works. Like, they have done an amazing an amazing job actually at improving where Copilot was really behind before, and now is as good as the other ones. Alright, so now it's changing the permissions, because on Unix like machines like Mac and Linux distributions, you have permissions, and that's for executable, to be able to execute the start.sh, because otherwise it will have the permission being denied. That's really specific with the Unix like machines. Like Mac is based on Linux basically, so it's the same way of working. You don't have this on Windows. So we can see now where we are at, and you see, yeah, I've shown that on another video actually, but the pause request is really handy. There is no such a feature on Cursor right now at the moment I'm recording this video, and it's really handy because you would be like in the train or in the tram, you would be in a coffee shop and it's about to close, and you have to close your laptop, the lid of your laptop, and you have to continue after. With Cursor you would have to restart again everything, and again the same prompt, you would consume new tokens, but you already did before, but because it didn't finish, you had to stop, you had to turn off your Wi-Fi, and you have to then to do it again from scratch, again the same prompt. But with Copilot you have the pause button, and that's so handy. So if it's not finished and you have now to go, now you know it's taking too much time and I have to go outside, I can just pause, close my laptop, and continue later on. Really handy. Alright, your previous function maker is ready. Okay, so now it's basically all done. We are speaking, but in the meantime Copilot works a lot for us. So previous function maker is ready. And can I run this? I will go back to my terminal here, just do a cd into previous screenshot, and I will do npm start. Alright, so that's the app basically. That's like the onboarding. We have a debug test. Okay. And if I want to add I can still not able to see anything actually inside. See that, and the way when you click here, something looks that's the issue, like when you don't do it by yourself, it's not perfect. Okay, so we are getting there, but still not quite close from what we want, because I'm not even able to select anything. I have to do Command R to refresh. So if I want to skip that, I want to add an image, can I? If I do add this simulator, this image, image added successfully, but I don't see it. It sounds like there's still an issue. Yeah, no, the image is not being added. Yeah, that's okay. I will make another video showing you the end of the debugging. So, because Copilot believes it's over, it's finished, and it's working, but it's actually not working. Like, can you? Yeah, we have to restart a bit, maybe from scratch. There's something that is not working. It's due to the Canva, and even if I add a text, you see the text is not showing there. I believe it's somewhere, but it's not visible. That's the issue. Yeah, so that text cannot be there, and that's a big issue. So we'll fix that later on. So stay tuned, because I will make another video. So stay tuned, and we will see in another video. We are nearly there, but again, debugging can be challenging, especially with Electron applications, I would say, because with Electron, it's a bit different than a normal application. I mean, a mobile app is kind of the same as well. But that's okay. We will find a way. We'll have it working. I will also debug a bit by myself, manually, the old-fashioned way, and I will see what's. I will find out what's the issue. So I do it by myself, and then I will check with AI as well later on, and I will make another recording after that. Beautiful.